Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Welcome to the show, wherever you are in the world. I'm coming to you live from Australia, and it's a bit of a cool day here today, a little bit overcast. For those who don't know me, I'm David Starlyte. I live in Australia at the moment, and I'm an intuitive. I do therapy and intuitive readings every week. Same time, same place on the live show. So please do like and comment, share the show if you gain something from it. And welcome everyone, new and old. We're going to start with Buddhism Oracle, picking a Buddhism Oracle card from this deck, which is called Buddhism Oracle. That's the deck, Buddhism Oracle. So just picking a card. And what question do you have today? What can help move the needle the most? What can help shift things for you in your life? Is it a limiting belief or something else? So we're going to ask the cards, shaking them up a little bit. And the card for the day is loving kindness. Now, with the world as it is, there's a lot of, call it, agitation coming to the surface. There's a type of turmoil in the collective spirit, which can feel quite destructive, self-destructive, quite negative in a way. And yet there is this release, there is this catharsis, there is this journey of becoming like a chrysalis coming out of the what do you call that, pupae, the chrysalis coming out of the pupa, emerging in this true metamorphosis. And that is taking a kind of birthing, or some call it rebirthing, whatever you want to think of it, a rebirthing or just a birthing. The metaphor works either way, that we are coming into the world almost like we need to go through a certain destructiveness, so that can be expressed, but also we need to express the stuff, the things that have been unexpressed, the things that have been suppressed, that have been held down in the collective unconsciousness. So there's a lot stirring within each one of us, that we're facets of this collective experience, and we are tuned into that. We're tuned into the grid around us, the earth grid around us that is holding this energy. We're all tuned into that. And so this energy is coming forth, and we are expressing it. We're feeling it expressed in our lives. And that can be quite jarring, quite definitely challenging. Wouldn't necessarily say traumatic, but it can seem quite traumatic. Definitely old traumas are surfacing, resurfacing. It's coming to the surface, and that is a good thing, because then we can look at it, we can heal it, we can shift it, we can acknowledge it. It's not going to be hidden away anymore. So this is a powerful time. And this card is representing what we need to experience for ourselves and for other people, which is loving kindness. When we feel love and kindness toward others, it not only makes us feel loved and cared for, it not only makes them feel loved and cared for, but it also helps to develop inner happiness and peace. So when we send out love for others, when we serve others, when we help others, when we improve other people's lives, we get that back. That's an energy we get back. And Tony Robbins talks about this a lot. He says, you've got to improve people's lives. You've got to do good in the world. You've got to, instead of thinking always of taking or needing or what I need, what I want, you've got to turn it around and think towards service, which is, imagine if everyone had that mentality and had that mind frame, that sense of, I'm here to serve, I'm here to help, I'm here to raise up the consciousness. Loving kindness is the distilled essence of pure love. As you open your heart, you're you're able to love the unlovable, bring joy to sadness, faith to doubt, and light to darkness. I'm going to read that again because, in the context of what I was talking about, bringing light to the darkness, I feel that that's an inner world thing, but also an external world thing. So both really important right now. Loving kindness is the distilled essence of pure love. As you open your heart, you are able to love the unlovable, bring joy to sadness, faith to doubt, and light to darkness. What does it mean to love the unlovable? There's parts of ourselves, perhaps our shadows, things that we do that perhaps we find unlovable. And of course, you can see anything on the external world, many things that we find perhaps even deplorable. But what happens if we turn that around and actually turn that into love? Love the unlovable. It's a beautiful cultivation card. And I'm just checking that the comments seem to be quiet. I'm not seeing any comments. So if anyone can just write a comment just so I know that it's working, because usually I get some comments on the show. So please do comment, like, and share if could too, just so we can get the algorithms working and bring some sort of engagement onto this show. We're going to ask another question of the cards, and feel free to write in the comments what questions you have, so it doesn't just come from me. What question do I have about 2026? I feel like the economy is very turbulent, and I'll be curious to know what the Buddhist cards have for this, because in Buddhism, the idea of virtue is very important in all aspects of life, not just business, but in all aspects of life. Ethics and integrity and sharing. So it's very much, I wrote a paper on the Buddhist economy, and it was quite interesting. So let's just find this in the cards. And what we have here is it's an interesting angle. I rather like it from the cards, which is the question of the economy of business, of how we operate in the world. And we have a happy Buddha. So it's a happy Buddha that's come out. And there's a quote from the Dalai Lama: the very purpose of our life is to seek happiness. So there you go. So they have something like follow your bliss. Joseph Campbell used to say, follow your bliss. And this idea of following your passion, following your calling, very much about happiness. Happiness can only be experienced when the mind is quiet and the heart is open to making pure connections with your own true self. Pure connections with your own true self. And making connections with other people in the world around you. This kind of happiness is only attainable by your sincere values of serving, giving, sharing, and creating for mankind's higher evolution. But this is actually perfect because it's exactly what I was talking about previously. So that really works. And always thank you to the spirit. Thank you to the spirit guide. Thank you to the connection, the interconnection, the interbeing between all beings, the oneness field that I experience, and that's all around me. And it's all around you as well. So thank you to that oneness field of spirit, of love, of devotion, of compassion that's all around us in consciousness. This kind of happiness is only attainable by sincere values of serving, giving, sharing, and creating for mankind's highest evolution. So creating a shared economy. How beautiful is that? So we were asking about the economy, and what came out very strongly is sharing, giving, creating for the collective good of all mankind or humankind and all of humankind's higher evolution. You can come in. We just have a little dog. Let me just check if I can see where you are. Where are you? Can you come in? Wonk, wonk. Come on. Just there. All right. Apologies for that, everyone. And please do. Maybe the comments aren't working. I don't know. What I could do is just go out of the show and come back in. I don't know if that would work. But we are not getting any comments. Pressure's it. So there's just an issue. I see there's some issue with StreamYard. This is live in StreamYard. Hi, Paresh. How are you? I'm just having some issues with this live stream. There we go. Yeah, okay. It's just, I don't know if other people are writing comments. I'm just trying to get. All right, maybe that's a little bit better. Yeah, there's some issues. How are you, Presh? Welcome to the show, and great to see you, Presh. So we are getting comments from Facebook. I think YouTube is not giving us questions or comments. So if anyone's on YouTube, please do put in a comment and see if we can get this working. At least see that it is working. The alternative is coming back in and doing it all over again. So great to see, Presh. And have you been listening, Presh? What did you think of the message from Spirit, which is really shifting our orientation from selfishness, from ego, from conceitedness, from taking, always serving ourselves and putting ourselves first, from contributing, from giving, from service, from creating for humankind's future, bringing the happiness to humankind. So it seems like Facebook's working. I'm not sure YouTube is working, and I'm not sure if we should try come back in 5 minutes. I could do that, Presh, or if we should just keep on running. So Presh, that is great to see. Just got in now. I have been doing that. So let me know how you're doing it. That's so beautiful. And I do feel some of the cultural traditions, Presh, I assume you come from a Hindu background, but I have no idea your personal background. Claiming my self-worth. A lot of I would say more of the Asian religions, definitely Buddhism. Let's just focus on Buddhism. Very much about serving, helping, community-oriented, giving back and helping the community, which is such a beautiful vision. And I feel like we lost that in Western cultures, that it became about selfishness and people. It's very sad when you see, I do go on social media sometimes and see things, and I'm like, how did the world end up like this, with people with such selfishness and ideas about themselves? It's like me, and I'm like, how is that helping your own life and helping humanity? And we've got to always observe the reality of life. And the reality of life is that it is impermanent, it is short-lived. Ashes to ashes. You can be whatever you are, the greatest athlete in the world, the greatest sprinter in the world, the greatest musician in the world, the greatest artist in the world. That's not a permanent thing. You're still going to die, not to be melodramatic or anything or dark. That is just a reality. You can be, and when people base their self-worth on things like status, wealth, beauty, superficial things, those can be lost. Money can be lost. Definitely beauty doesn't tend to last. Inner beauty lasts, but not external beauty. It tends to dissolve. So I don't think YouTube comments are coming. That's just the reality. But Presh is helping, having some comments. So thank you to Presh. You've really helped. And Presh says I'm Hindu. And what interesting. I haven't studied much of the Bhagavad Gita. I find it fascinating, and I always love how people speak about, the Hindu religion and how the deities are so much part of their faith. So I definitely respect what comes with Hinduism. It's really interesting. I'd like to study it further. And it is part of Buddhism is part of Hinduism. They are connected. And that's what I've studied is Buddhism, Prashan. I love the way the religions are sort of revered in India, and they're all, the deities are revered. There isn't, which is beautiful. It's really the motherland of religions. And I feel like definitely a lot of the female spirits or the souls that have taken on female form have been given to families, definitely to children. The mother is the giver, and the feminine giving aspect, whereas the masculine can be more taking in its own way. It can more, but externalizing. Not, and people often. People are often there's an external world, there's an internal world, there's relationships. Or talking relationally, sometimes men can be a bit of a drain. Is that something you found in your experience? But not in the external world, because often men, if you look at, they're building bridges and they fixing roofs, and so there's a lot of things that men do that are very much serving society, building the infrastructure, which is a great service to the world and deserves a lot of admiration and respect. But I'm just talking relationally. It's fascinating, the different emotional world of women and men, and how these things are expressed differently. I've been putting myself first recently, and that's important, Presh, to reach a balance. And sometimes it is important to put ourselves first, not in a selfish way, just in a pragmatic way that says we are worthy, we are important, we deserve. I am deserving. And if you're just giving to others, sometimes you can lose that sense of self. It becomes all about the other. And there does need to be a balance. That's really the giving, receiving, that needs to be in balance. We cannot just give everything, self-sacrifice, because then we will end up losing our sense of self. So I'm going to pick a card from the Buddhist oracle for Presh. And I may just go online again quickly. I'm just thinking, and see if things are going to work if I come back. And so let's just see what's coming out for Presh over here. Okay. So we've got a few messages coming through for you, Presh. It's almost like a combination that's very pure. So in Buddhism, there's an idea of mindfulness, and there's an idea of purity of action. And when you can combine them, that's really the ideal. So mindfulness can be a bit of an abstract concept. What does it really mean? Is to be present. So whatever you are doing, whether it's cleaning the kitchen, whether it's driving, whether it's meditation, whether it's walking the dogs, it's important to bring all your energy into the present. And we do that with mindfulness. And so this card is reminding you to bring mindfulness into not just your consciousness, but also into your action. So with mindfulness comes the awareness that what has happened in the past is only memory, and that what is going to happen in the future is a form of the type of wish or fantasy. So the past is always merely memory. And this card reminds you to be still and open to the most precious moments that life can bring you. The most precious moments that life presents to you, all the opportunities and blessings to be found are unfolding for you in the now. And it encourages you to consciously bring your inner awareness to your actions as you make a commitment not to harm or destroy any life, not to take away things that don't belong to you, and not to use anything physical in a harmful way to yourself or others. Your actions will become free from old habits, past experiences, and any negative emotion. So it's very much a path of purity. So beautiful cards for you, Presh. And I'm just saying you wrote just encouraged by this, claiming my self-worth, putting me first. So that's like something that's hardwired in you to serve others, and this is a journey to also put yourself first, and finding that balance. So really beautiful. I'm gonna just end the show and come back quickly, say in 5 minutes, and see if YouTube can get tuned in. So ending the stream now, and see you all next week. And I'm going to come back in 5 minutes. So please do come back soon.